Dear brothers and sisters, it gives me great joy to be here in Hong Kong and to have an opportunity to talk about meditation. We just heard a hymn written by Sant Rajinder Maharaj. And it's very interesting when we read the writings of the great saints and mystics. They're always exhorting us to know the truth. The hymn might have been written maybe 500-600 years ago, maybe before that. And what is very interesting is that the writings of the saints are as true today as they were when they were written in those saints. Because when the saints come into this world, they're always talking about our existence. They're talking about the purpose for which we come into the world. They're making us understand how is it that we are spending our life and what kind of direction should we be focused on so that the purpose for which we are in this world would be fulfilled. Most people think of Mirabai, who was a great lady saint, as being a lover of Lord Krishna. And the hymns that she's written are all in love of the Creator. And what is very interesting is that as we look at spirituality, as we look at being able to experience the divine for ourselves, we find that there are two aspects of spirituality that saints have talked about. One is what is called Sagun Bhakti. Sagun Bhakti is looking at the Creator through a deity. And many saints have written about their experiences of the Spirit, of a true being, as we focus in that direction. And then there's the other aspect of spirituality, which is called Nirgun Bhakti, which is to be able to connect with the two primary manifestations of the divine, that being the divine light and the divine sound, which emanated from the Creator. All of the scriptures are telling us that in the beginning was the Creator, and from Creator emerged this creative power. And this creative power brought all creation to being. So Kabir Sahib has said very beautifully, he says, Awwal Allah, Noor Upaya, Kudrat ke sab bande. Ek Noor de, sab jag upja. Kaun bhale kaun mande. So he's saying, in the beginning was the Creator. We can call the Creator as God, as Vaheguru, as Ishwar, as Paramatma, by any name. And from God came this creative power. We can call it the Shabd or the Naam, the holy word, that power which brought all creation to being. And so Kabir Sahib is saying, says everything came from the Creator. Who are we to say that this is good and this is bad, or this is high and this is low? That everything that came from the Creator is one and the same. And what is very interesting is that we live in an age which is very scientific. We live in an age where unless science can prove something, we don't believe in it. And there was a great project which called the Genome Project, where they took the genes of the human race, of people living in different parts of the world, people whose color the skin was different, people whose features were different, and they mapped the genes of everyone. And what's very interesting is that the results that they came out were as follows. The scientists are telling that more than 99% of the genes of each and every human being is one and the same. And what is different is less than 1%. And that accounts for the color of our skin, our features, our height, our with things that we see on the outside. And so when we look at each other and we see people who are looking different than us, who speak different languages, whose cultures are different, then we think they're different from us. But even the scientists today are saying that more than 99% of each and every one of us is the same. And if we were to understand that aspect, there would be no commotion in life. It's because we think we're different, it's because we live in a world of duality that there's a comparison. There's a comparison, me and you. There's a comparison of this person and that person. And all of a sudden, there is stress in our life. There's strain in our life. Because as soon as you have two, not everything is going to be 100% the same. When you have one, then everything is one and the same. It's the duality that brings stress into our life. It's the duality that creates trouble in our life. And as we were listening to the hymn written by Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj, it is very interesting that Mirabai, who is the revered lady saint coming from the east, who in the beginning of her search was searching the Creator through Lord Krishna. Somewhere along in her life, she came to the teachings of Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj. She had an audience with the great saint, and her life changed dramatically. And she wrote one of these verses. She says, Mira man mani surat salas mani. She said, my mind, which was always thinking that I'm the body, I'm the body, I'm the body. My whole system was geared to doing things which were, to me, good for the body. All of a sudden I realized that my true existence is at the level of my soul. Because my soul took a flight. Mira man mani, that my mind then agreed, because I saw mind which puts thoughts into us, which put desires into us, which focuses us in the world outside. That my mind, which was focused on the world outside, all of a sudden realized that the true existence is at the level of the soul. And she said, Mira man mani, surat salas mani. When my soul went on this inner spiritual journey, is the inner spiritual journey which gives us the calmness, the peacefulness, the happiness and joy, which is eternal, which lasts and lasts and lasts. And today, when we live in an age of strife, when we live in an age where there's tremendous amount of stress in our lives, even though we've had tremendous developments, we find that our life today is much different than the life of our forefathers. We find that today there is so much information coming to us that it becomes very difficult for us to decipher it. We find that in the old times, we would live in the village, we would work on the farm, we maybe meet 2 or 4 people in the day, and that's the people we need to interact with. But today, we could be living in Hong Kong, we could be living in New York, we could be living in any part of the world. And sitting in that part of the world, we're aware of everything else that's happening in the world. Through the wonders of communication, we're aware of what is going on where. And so we need to decipher all that information. Today, in every big city of the world, you have people of various faiths, various cultures living together. Because today we live in a world in which people are moving from one part of the world to another, people are trading from one part of the world to another, people are exploring in their own mind, other countries, other cultures. And as we do that, then we all need to relate to those who maybe are brought up in a different culture, maybe speak different languages. And so when we all who've been brought up in different environments come together, they're bound to be stressed because our thinking is different, our way of doing things might be different. Some people drive on the right side of the road, and some people drive on the left side of the road. Yeah. But when they're together, it sometimes becomes very difficult. Some people want to do things with the right hand, some people want to do things with the left hand. And when they're together, things get different. Some people, when they meet, want to embrace each other and they're very happy. And some people just shake hands when they meet. And so, if one from one culture goes to another, it becomes very difficult for them to deal with the situation. And that's what creates stress. Stress happens in our life when things happen contrary to what we expect. We all have expectations in any relationship, in any interaction that we have because of a background. So when we interact and the expectations that we have is not met, we're devastated. We have stress. We start to think, how can this happen? And then difficulties start to come in life. And so saints and mystics have all been talking about what is our situation. So this hymn that we just heard, which is maybe written hundreds of years ago, talks about the same things that we're going through today. It's very interesting. It is saying in the first line, Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj is saying that look at the human body, look at a human person. This person is made of metal. And look at how this person is dancing. He's going from here to there, he's moving from this place to that place, and look at the activities that the person does. So he's letting us know that as a human being, we are involved in those activities which we think will help this physical body. As a human being, if the physical body feels we need to go outside for a walk, we go for a walk. And to fulfill our needs, we go to work. We're running if we want to explore something. Let's say we're living in Delhi and we want to explore Hong Kong, then we travel to Hong Kong. We're living in Hong Kong, we want to explore Tokyo, we travel to Tokyo. We live in Tokyo, want to explore United States of America, we travel to United States of America. So this body is moving from here to there to there to there, thinking that when it goes someplace, it'll get more happier. But what happens? When you move from one location to another, the cultures are different. You have to adjust to those things. And what you have learned to lead life as, you might find it difficult in the new environment. And that's what causes stress. So here, Sant Ravidas Ji Maharaj is talking about maybe what happened 6, 7, 800 years ago. Same thing's happening today. Because we as human beings have the same inherent qualities. And then he's saying, the what is this human body doing? He's saying this human body sees through the eyes, and what happens? Whatever looks beautiful to the eye is what we get attracted to. Let's say we like to see the mountains, okay? Then we try to gravitate to that area. Let's say we want to see the sea, we want to gravitate to that area. Let's say we like the sunrise and the sunset, so we want to see that in our life. And so whatever seems good to the eyes is what we experience. What is very interesting is the scientists are also telling us the same thing. They're telling us 83% of the activities that a human being does is based on the sense of sight. This is the predominant sense. And this is the first thing that Sant Ravidas is more. He said, Dekhe sune. So he's saying, first he's saying, Dekhe means we're seeing, and then sune means listening. So he says, what is the human being doing next? It's listening. It's talking to each other. It's trying to find out how someone feels. It's trying to relate to someone else. And it's trying to gather information. Next dominant sense is the sense of hearing, which is about 14% of our activities. And so these are the two main dominant senses, and only 3% of our activities are based on sense of smell, taste, and touch. And here Sant Ravidas Ji is saying, like, we are seeing, we are listening, we are talking, and they say then we're running around and we go from here to there. Whatever smells good, we want to be in that direction. Whatever tastes good, that's the food we want to eat. Whatever feels good, we want to touch that. And so he's talking about us living at the level of our physical senses. That is five senses of sight, of hearing, of smell, of taste, and touch are the ones through which we interact with others in the world. We who, the body which is made of matter, is interacting through these senses with others. And these senses are taking the outer expression of our soul, which is our attention, and putting it into the world outside. And as we focus our attention on the world outside, that's the color which overtakes our being. That's what is going to be making our life go in that direction. So here Sant Ravidas Ji Maharaj is saying that as a human being, we're always focused on the outside. And the outside is everything is different. Even though we focus on the 1% of the differences that we have. And this is why we have more stress in our life. Then he says, what else happens? He says, in life, as we see things and we talk about things and whether we want to gather things. As a human being, you are born, you go to school, you learn, and then you go in the workforce. And as you go in the workforce, you want to make a living, you earn some money, and you want to support yourself. As you get married, you want to support your family. As you have children, you want to take care that they're all well taken care of. So he's saying that as we work and as we collect the riches of this world, what happens? Our ego is inflated. You think, oh, I did great. I have so much money in the bank. I have so many properties. I have so much jewelry. And all of a sudden, our ego is getting up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And whenever our ego gets bigger, that's our downfall. Kabir Sahib was one of the greatest saints coming from the East. He said very beautifully, he says, जहाँ हरि है वहाँ मैं नहीं, जहाँ मैं है वहाँ हरि नहीं, प्रेम गली अति सागरी, जा मैं दो न समाए. He's saying, wherever there's a creator, there's no question of me or the ego. And he says, wherever there's ego, and wherever we go for duality, there's no question of experiencing the creator. He said, to experience the creator, you have to walk on the lane of love. And he's saying the lane of love is very narrow. So two cannot walk in the lane. You have to be one. And that is what brings us peace. Wherever there's two, there's stress, strain, difficulties. Things are not going along as you want. Not everyone understands you properly. They have their own thinking, they have their own way of doing things, and you get caught up in that. But if there's only one, then only you get to know God and know the Creator, and that's where you find the peace, and that's where all the happiness comes in, and that's what the saints are all talking about. That we all can be happy, we all can be peaceful, we all can be joyous. It's a question of where we focus our attention. And so our ego, which gets bloated as we achieve um, properties or things of this world, yeah, it keeps us away from the Creator. It brings turmoil in our life. It brings havoc in our life. And so here, Sant Ravidas Ji Maharaj is now talking about what happens to most of us. He said, now we got all the property, our ego is up. Then in life, what happens? You have difficulties coming. Yeah. All of a sudden, your investment could be in the stock market and gone down. You have a theft. Your business, which is doing very well, is not doing that well. Your competitors are getting the better of you. You're very healthy, and all of a sudden you get a sickness. And the doctor says, oh, it's going to take a long time for you to recover. Family members and your friends are very close to you. All of a sudden, there's some kind of a misunderstanding. And if far what? People that you spend time with, people you live with, people you hate with, all of a sudden no one wants to see each other because of the misunderstanding. So difficulty do come in life. And so Sant Ravidas Ji Maharaj saying, when difficulty comes, what do we? We start to cry. So, oh, the Creator is not taking good care of me. The Creator is very busy taking care of everyone else. And I am in trouble. Yeah. And so that's what happens to each and every one of us. Because When we get things, we feel very proud, and all of a sudden, when they're taken away from us for one reason or another, whether it's physical health, whether it's a mental state, whether it's an intellectual state, or whether it's any riches of this world, then all of a sudden we get distraught, and most people go into a depression and get into a state of more stress because they can't deal with that situation. And then Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj is saying, he says that it's through our mind and through our words and through what we do that we are getting more and more entangled into the activities of the world. Okay. Because for every thought which is coming from the mind, for every word that we speak, for every action that we have, we are held accountable for. For those of you who have gone to school and learned some science, there's a third law of physics which says for every action there's a reaction. Yeah. So if you, let's say if you have a ball and I throw it against that wall, the strength with which I throw is the strength with which the ball comes back. So every action has a reaction. And so for every thought, every word, and every deed, we are held accountable. Okay. And so here, Guru Ravidas Ji Maharaj is telling us, he's saying us that these thoughts, these words, and these deeds, they're taking and putting us more into the world outside. Because what do we think about? And what kind of thoughts do we have that are all about this world? Yeah, oh, I should go travel and go to this place. Or maybe I should make my relationships better. Or maybe I should figure out how to invest in the stock market. Or maybe I should learn something more about this thing. Everything is taking us into the world outside. And then he says, when our attention is on the world outside, the turmoil that it creates is so havoc that we are never stable. And when we are not in a state of harmony, there's disruptions in our life. And when there's disruptions in our life, there's stress in our life. And so he says, when we are in that state, we are just trying to uh, find some happiness and joy in wherever our attention is going. But our attention is going into the world. And everything of this world is temporary. There's nothing permanent in this world. We as human beings have a lifespan, maybe 50 years, 60, 80, 100 years, maybe a little longer. But one day, each and every one is going to physically die. If you have a plant, it can live for 200, 400, 500 years. Okay. If you make a building, it can stay for thousands of years. But everything in this world is subject to decay. And since everything in the world is temporary, it's not lasting ever, when we connect with it, we are never going to find peace which is perpetual, which is eternal, which will last and last and last. So he says in the last verse, Sant Ravidas Ji Maharaj is saying, we need to get to a state where we recognize that this world is a play. And in this play, we've been all given different characters to play. Someone has a character of being a mother, someone has a character of being a father, someone has a character of being a child, someone has a character to being a studious person, someone has a character to be a sports person, someone has a character to do business, another one has a character to teach others. So we've all been given different characters. And we need to realize that just like the characters in a play, when they finish a character, then they go do something else. This life is not permanent. This human existence is not permanent. And so, when we do everything in this world for that what is temporary, we're never going to be satisfied, never going to be happy. So, he's saying we need to get to a state where we recognize that this is a play and we are all actors or actresses of this play. And he says, when it recognizes that, then what is the solution? In the last line, he gives the solution. He says the solution is, which would we find in all of our faiths, that those who love the Creator are the ones who find stability in their life. We need to experience the love of the Creator. Just like Kabir Sahib said, the lane of love is narrow. Two cannot walk in it. We need to be one. So we need to recognize our real existence is not the body, it's not the mind, it's not our intellect. That our real existence is at the level of our soul. And the soul needs to be experienced by us. Now, how do we experience our soul? That's where meditation comes into play. Meditation is a means by which we take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within ourselves. Within ourselves is the creative power, the power of divine light and divine sound of God. So within us is this divine power of light and sound. So when we focus our attention within, we can experience the divine light within. We can experience what is called the harmony of our harmony, the celestial music, the creative power that brought all creation to being is within each and every one of us. And as we invert and as we connect with that creative power, then we go on a spiritual journey, a journey that takes us from the physical to the divine. And that journey is a journey of love. That journey is a journey of light. And that journey, each and every one of us can go to. And as we go on the spiritual journey, as we experience the divine light within, what happens is that all of a sudden we get peaceful. Because within us is an ocean of peace, it's an ocean of joy, it's an ocean of all love, it's an ocean of tranquility, it's an ocean of all harmony. And as we go within, and as our attention goes within, then we also partake of that love of the Creator. We experience the divine light within. And what happens is, as we experience the divine light and divine sound within ourselves, then layers and layers of mind, matter, and illusion, which are covering our soul, they start to be peeled away. And as these layers of mind, matter, and illusion peeled away, we start to experience ourselves as we truly are. In reality, we're soul. The soul is a part of the Creator. And the saints are telling us that the light of a soul is as much as 16 outer suns. 16 outer suns. But we don't see the light. Why? Because we have layers and layers and layers covering our soul. There are, this is the physical body. Underneath this is the astral body. Underneath is the causal body. Underneath is the supercausal body. And then our soul resides. So our soul has these four big coverings on it. Now, the lights are very strong. If you put four big blankets on this, no light will shine forth. So meditation is a process of taking these coverings off one by one. And as we go on this meditative journey, we realize the joys within, because the light within is the light of the Creator. It's a light which enlightens us, which is not dealing with the knowledge. Knowledge deals with the outside activity that we gain about this world. It gives us wisdom. Wisdom deals with knowing what is it that is helpful to us. What is helpful to us is to fulfill the very purpose for which we come into this world. What is helpful to us is to experience ourselves at the level of our soul. What is helpful to us is to go on the spiritual journey. What is helpful to us is to have our soul merge in the Creator. And so, as we go on the spiritual journey, which starts through the meditative process, then we're experiencing states of more light and more light and more light, because the layers which are covering our soul are being removed. And then, as we go on the spiritual journey, from the physical to the astral, from the astral to the causal, from the causal to the supercausal, from there to such kind of the region of all truth, it is there that we find the merger of our soul in the Creator. And as we find the merger of our soul in the Creator, then the very purpose for which we've come into this world is fulfilled. The human existence has been called the roof and crown of all creation. Because in this existence, we all have this single or this third eye, the Divya Chakshu, the Nukta Saveda, the Dasmadwar. This is between and behind the two eyebrows. This Dasmadwar is a gateway to the world inside. See, our eyes are focused on the world outside, our ears are focused on the world outside, all other openings are in the world outside. But this opening is into the regions within. So as we meditate, as we take our sensory currents, to which our senses are taking attention into the world outside, as we withdraw from the world outside, the sensory currents collect, and we collect them here at the seat of the soul. And then with help and guidance, we go on the spiritual journey. And as we go on the spiritual journey, with time and with practice, we are able to reach the Creator and find our oneness with the Creator. And it is then that total stillness come to our life. It is then that all strife goes away. It is then that all stress goes away. So whatever stress you might have in life, as you find the joy within, which you find as you meditate, then that doesn't stay there for only that time that we are meditating. The effect of it is it stays there for long periods of time. And then we are able to be in that state of calm and peace for all times to come. So I'd like to leave you with a very simple meditative technique that you can try. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close the eyes very gently. This meditation called SS meditation stands for Science of Spirituality meditation. Make sure your eyeballs are straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, please repeat any name of the Creator, any name which is loving to you, any name which is peaceful to you, which will give you a calming effect. Just repeat it mentally, not out loud, but mentally. Keep your gaze in front. With time, you start to experience flashes of light, circles of light within yourself. In the beginning, it looks like light is coming and going, but with time, the light stabilizes. So, what actually is happening is that the light of God is not coming from the outside. The light of God is within each and every one of you. When you concentrate, you experience the light. And so, with time, as your concentration improves more and more and more, you experience the light more and more and more. And to you, it looks like they're stabilized. And then with time, you'll go beyond the lights to a sky which first looks cloudy, and then the clouds go away, and you find pinpoints of light as if there were stars in the sky. If you get there, focus in the middle of the biggest and the brightest star. It'll give way for you to experience the inner moon. And as you lovingly gaze in the moon, you go beyond that too and get to the inner sun. And as you lovingly look into the sun, you'll get to what is called an inner guide. It's the radiant form of a spiritual master who becomes our inner guide, who then guides us from the physical through the spiritual journey. So our job is to still the body and still the mind, and whatever is right for us, whatever the Creator wants, is what happens in our life. It's my prayer to the Creator to help each and every one of us go on the spiritual journey. And may the grace of the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Savan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayalpur Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, be with each and every one of us here so that we can experience the divine light in its effulgence. So we'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this state at that time. And my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off.